In this video, I want to talk about why it's important to get out of fight and flight. I'll share 6 strategies to get you out of fight or flight, and also how you can access a free resource with 7 techniques to support your body's healing. So I wanted to make this video as I often get comments from people saying that stress has nothing to do with conditions like ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID and related conditions. There's often a misunderstanding that people think that I'm saying that these conditions are all in your head. I don't think they are all in your head. And I know they're very real physical conditions because I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia for 8-9 years. I've had COVID and I know the symptoms are real. So having had ME, CFS, I can imagine what it must be like to have long COVID. So many people I chat to don't have an understanding of stress and the way stress affects our body and the way our mind affects our stress levels and the impact this has on your body's capacity for healing. So when we understand stress better, what switches on the stress response and what we can do to switch off the stress response, that's going to have a positive impact on our body's capacity to do that important healing work. So I'll keep sharing these messages so that people learn, like I did, that they can influence their health and recovery. Even though occasionally that means that someone will accuse me of spreading misinformation, which I'm not. This is based on research. In fact, I've had clients last week telling me that they're able to do more because they're feeling less stressed and they feel that their body is healing. So if you'd like to feel the same optimism as they feel, keep watching. My name is Simon Mentor. As I said, I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia for 8-9 years. And I went from not being able to walk for 1 minute to being able to work again, full-time, play sport and live my life again. I did experience an injury a while back, but life is still great. Okay, and I create videos and resources exploring mind-body approaches and practical strategies to help people navigate conditions like ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID, to help you to move towards your goals. I do offer coaching and a course called Building Resilience for people who want help now. So if you'd like to know more about those offerings, then you're welcome to book a no-cost, no obligation chat link below this video. So as I say, if you've got ME, CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, long COVID or related conditions, and your doctor has either ruled out identifiable factors that are hindering your recovery, or they may have identified some issues, either way, according to research, it's important to understand that stress slows down the body's healing. And stress makes it more likely that we get diseases that make us sick. And if we are sick, if we keep experiencing stress, we can develop new symptoms. That helped me understand why I kept developing different symptoms when I had ME/CFS. The key point to understand is that your mind can activate the stress response. Your mind can put the body in a state of fight or flight. I suspect most people know this on an instinctive level. Consider we have a spectrum. At one end of the spectrum, we have extreme fight or flight. And at the other end, deep state of rest and digest. Where would you say you are on this spectrum today, on average? And where do you think you spend most time on average on that spectrum? When I had ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, at one point, I was spending a lot of time in the stress state and not much time in the rest and digest healing state. So my body wasn't healing. And even after 8-9 years, I was still pretty fragile. As I learned to spend more time in the healing state, I started to really understand that being in stress hinders recovery. So when we're in a prolonged state of stress, certain changes happen in the body, and this affects your energy and your recovery. Stress puts your body in a state of fight or flight, and the body releases a cascade of hormones that prepare your body for action, such as adrenaline and cortisol. This triggers physical changes in your body, preparing the body to either confront the threat, fight, or run from it, flight. These changes happen very quickly. And that's why you've probably heard stories of a mother lifting a car to get their child out of danger. So these changes happen, as I say, very quickly so that we can fight or run away. And this response is supposed to be activated when there's real danger. Here's how it affects the body. The heart rate increases. Our pupils dilate to allow more light into our eyes so that we have better vision and peripheral awareness, which helps us in detecting potential threats. If we're in a state of fight or flight too long, this can result in light sensitivity. Okay, our muscles tense because, again, this is going to prepare us for action, enabling quick movement and strength to fight or flee. If we're in the fight-flight state for a prolonged period, that tension in the muscles can lead to pain. We have heightened awareness. The senses are more acute. Again, this is going to allow individuals to be more alert and responsive to their surroundings. But if we're in that state too long, this can result in feelings of hypervigilance. Our breathing rate increases. Faster breathing means we get more oxygen intake. And again, if this is sustained, whilst it's good in the short term, this can result in feelings of anxiety, and shallow breathing can affect the way our body functions. I read a book which had like 2 or 3 pages of detailed description of what happens when we don't breathe in a more relaxed state, and I'll get onto that in a moment. The body also releases glucose, and this gets into the bloodstream quickly so that their muscles have energy that they need. As I say, these changes prepare the body for action, and they increase our chances of survival in dangerous situations. Once the threat has passed, the body typically returns to its normal state of functioning and the stress response subsides. However, chronic activation of this fight-flight response can have negative consequences on our physical and mental health over time. Why? Because having those hormones and blood sugar coursing around your body without being used up by you taking action isn't really good for your body. Your body's in a state of emergency. It switches off repair work and growth because the brain thinks we need to focus on survival. There are other important consequences, and I talk about that in my video, Reasons for Hope. Again, link below this video. So your mind can switch on the stress response. That doesn't make you bad or wrong. That just makes you a human being. So addressing the psychological stressors is a piece of the puzzle for some people. So what are some examples of the mind activating the stress response, the fight-flight response? One is being triggered by symptoms. So experiencing symptoms, catastrophizing, telling yourself you're not going to get well is going to activate the fight-flight response. Or chastising yourself, beating yourself up for overdoing it and now experiencing a setback. We can also be triggered by other people. Maybe they're skeptical, they don't believe you're really unwell. That's upsetting. And not dealing with that upset creates a pressure cooker situation. Suppressing our emotions causes tension in our body. For some people, the reason they do this is they believe that it's not okay to express emotions. They're worried about upsetting people. But they're overlooking the fact that someone has upset them. Okay, so it's important to address these stresses if you are experiencing them. I was one of those people who was experiencing psychological stress. And I've worked with many people who say that they were experiencing psychological stress, and addressing the psychological stress was a key part of their recovery. So I want to share 6 strategies for getting out of fight or flight. First of all, use your breath. In a free PDF, I share 7 breathing techniques that are designed to get you out of that state of fight or flight. The link is below this video if you'd like it. One of those techniques is diaphragmatic breathing. According to research, this is an effective way of getting your body out of fight, flight, and calming your mind and body. So try this now. You can put your hand on your heart and a hand on your belly and focus on breathing into your belly so that the hand on your belly moves forward and back and the hand on your chest doesn't move. So if you like, you could close your eyes just for a moment and do this. Obviously only close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Just finding your natural rhythm of breathing. In and out. So that's something that you can practice. Another strategy is meditation. Now often people think, oh, I can't meditate, but I want to share a really simple technique. I invite you to just focus on your breath. Imagine your breath has a colour as you breathe in through your nose, breathing into your belly, and if it's comfortable, breathing out of your nose. Alternatively, you can breathe out of your mouth with pursed lips. Just do whatever feels most comfortable. Anytime you notice that you're thinking about something, just notice, oh, I'm having a thought about whatever it is. Imagine popping that thought on a cloud and letting it float off. And just go back to the practice of focusing on your breath. If focusing on your breath doesn't work for you right now, that's okay. You can just focus on your little toe on your right foot as you breathe in and out. And then move your attention to the toe next to it, the middle toe, the toe next to the big toe, and then the big toe. And then you can go to the big toe on your other foot and do the same. So give that a go. The third technique I want to share is called the 3-2-1 technique. This was created by Betty Erickson, wife of the renowned hypnotherapist and grandfather of hypnotherapy, Milton Erickson. You can do it with your eyes open or closed. Obviously, make sure if you close your eyes, it's safe to do so. What you do is you focus on 3 things you see, or if your eyes are closed, 3 things you would see if your eyes were open. Then 3 sounds you hear, and then 3 physical sensations of your body. For example, the contact between your body and your clothing. And then you focus on 2 things you can see, or would see if your eyes were open, 2 things you can hear, and 2 physical sensations of your body. For instance, I'm noticing the connection, the contact between my index and middle finger on my right hand. If you can't hear a sound that's different to the other ones you've noticed, you can just imagine a sound. And then you move to 1 thing you'd see or can see, 1 sound you hear, and 1 physical sensation. The 4th strategy is to just do really gentle, slow movement. This can help you get out of the state of fight or flight. Below this video, I'll link to a video where I do a really gentle Qigong demonstration. And sometimes I would just do that for 1 minute. And I always noticed benefit from doing so. And I might do that a few times a day just for a minute. The 5th strategy is connection. If you have the opportunity and the capacity to do so, to connect to someone, to have a chat, maybe take your mind off whatever is going on. The sixth strategy is to find something that makes you laugh. Maybe watching something or listening to some comedy. So there's a few strategies for you to help you get out of fight or flight. As I mentioned, you can access that free PDF with 7 breathing techniques. So I am going to be doing a live session where I talk about what helped me. My goal is to give you insights and strategies that can help you. So if you'd like to join me live or watch the replay, link below this video. So if you found this video helpful, do like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what your takeaway is, and do share it with somebody. If you'd like more tips, do join my Facebook group. Also, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I am more active on TikTok, so do check out my channels. As I say, if you'd like help, do get in touch. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Wishing you great health. Bye for now.